And so now what I can do is I can publish this as an ePub using math type. So I'm going to select math type and publish to math page. And do I want to save the changes? Okay. And then I can title it whatever I want. So I could say critical thinking assignment week 1. And I have to make sure down here, I think it's usually defaulted to use equations as GIFs, those files. So that's what we don't want. We want it to save as mathml. So under that, you want to click that radio button, mathml, using HTML plus mathjax. And the file name, I'm going to just browse where I want the file to go. And so it looks like this is okay. I'm going to rename the file, though, because I already have it renamed there. And so this was critical thinking assignment for week 1. And it's going to save as a web page. Okay, so it looks like we're good. And that's where it's going to go. And okay. So now it's going to convert everything. And it's going to create this ePub file, which an unexpected error occurred. And we'll see, I guess, when it comes up, what the error is. We'll see what my reader says. I do have many things open, so it might be that. But now it's creating this ePub. I have too many things open. And so here's the ePub file. A web page, but it's just working, it's an ePub file that's only working on my computer as a web page. If you try to save this into Canvas and the rich content editor, or even on the HTML, then it's not actually going to work. My understanding is they have to have some kind of ePub reader, which I'm still researching the best ones for that. But what's nice about this, well, first notice that it doesn't have a HTTPS, so that's why you can't just link it in Canvas. But this ePub file now can be read by their reader, and so if the student doesn't have Microsoft Word, this is like your alternative to the PDF, because the PDF loses a lot when you convert it, and you lose your equations. So you have Word, and you have, okay, what's another way they can view things? And this ePub is another way. So let's have the reader read this.
The right parent on the sketch that is provided to you from the book. Draw the rectangle, quote, slice, quote, that has width. Delta X math content, and height. 5x minus x squared math content.
So you can see here that it's actually reading all the math content as it should. And so it kept the mathml when it generated this ePub. Whereas with a PDF file, you wouldn't be able to, unless you had very specific readers that work just with PDFs, which PDFs kind of, I think, are still a trouble area. This at least is our alternative. So you have this ePub file now, and you're wondering, okay, what do I do with this? How do I get this to the students? In terms of getting the ePub to the students, one of the things that I found out did not work is if I were to highlight this and put the hyperlink for the ePub, so I'm copying my URL here for my ePub, and if I were to copy that and then do my normal hyperlink, it says it's not a valid protocol. It must be HTTP, HTTPS, etc. And so it doesn't work that way. And I was kind of hoping it did. I don't know much about ePubs. This is my first experience with them, but that did not work. One of the other things I had tried was, okay, let's switch this to the HTML code, and I'll copy in the HTML code. You could do that by looking at the source code of the ePub. That did not work either. I lost some of my, I lost my image, and I lost my math type equations. And remember, one of the characteristics of an ePub is that you cannot edit this you have to go back and edit your Word document and then republish your ePub, just like you do with PDFs. You know, you edit your Word document and then remake another PDF. So, but the PDFs are troublesome with accessibility. So this ePub is, I'm thinking it's more like this accessible alternative with math. So this is cool. Now, how do we get it to the student? So the student is like, okay, I don't have Word. The Word document's not going to work for me, but I need something. And so then if we can't just link it, then one of the things you can do is you can save it to your Google Drive. Now the Google Drive will save this as this HTML file, which if you double click on this, it will come up just as this HTML code. So you can give them this file, but if you were to just have them straight up open it generically like this, then it opens as this HTML code. But they also have these, there's 3 little buttons on the side here that you can do, I think, open with. I don't have the right like apps on my computer yet, but I think they can open it with an e-reader on their own laptop. So let's take a look at here what happens, or what we'll do here is we'll get a shareable link. And then I just have anybody can look at it. Okay, I'm copying my link, and I'm going to go back to my accessibility or my Canvas page. And now I have a link that, a hyperlink to the ePub. So again, when I save this, it's not going to like pull up a web page necessarily. It's going to pull up the HTML code. But now at least they have a file in which, if they have an e-reader, like say, I think Bookshelf by Vital Source is a good one. And like I said, I'm going to research that. But e-reader for students, if they have one, then at least they can actually open this up now and look at it as an alternative to Word. And sometimes what I've been doing, I've been putting actually both Word and PDF, but you can also do this ePub as well instead of the PDF. That I'll leave up to you, but a lot of students like PDF, so maybe you put all 3. It does get quite cumbersome, but this is where we offer the alternative, or at least tell the students that if you're having trouble with any of the files, let me know. And then if there's a particular student that needs, say, the ePub, then you know at least how to generate that. But let's put the Word document too. So if I say critical thinking worksheet, and then I like to put parentheses Word, and on this one you could say ePub, and then, you know, fix the link to be all of that as one link. So then if I also wanted to put the Word document link, I could go into my upload document selection from my computer and then find my document. So I have my document. I'm going to submit it. And now it made this now a linkable to a Word and an ePub. So I'm going to save that. So now they can download the Word document, or they can open up the ePub with the e-reader. And then again, you could also put the PDF option there. So that's it.